So Goose Creek Rest Stop wins second Golden Turkey Award. Extravagant 7.2 million Goose Creek Rest Stop wins the Turkey Award, Golden Turkey Award, for wasteful spending. I saw this and I could not stop laughing.
I'm glad, because you know what? I picked a lighter topic this week without being political. But
without being
it's
political,
gonna go political.
This is about as political as it can be.
I know, but you know what I mean?
It's not presidential political.
It's a Turkey Award, Goose Creek. I mean, it's just stupidity. Yeah. Stupid is, stupid does. So take it from there, I guess. It's just...
This rest area has been in and out of the news for years because they had huge delays on this project. I think the
I don't think it's 7.2 million. I think it's way
like
more
4
than
years.
that.
Yeah, because it's on the way to Duluth, so we go up there a couple times a year and we've passed it, and it's been closed for a long time.
I don't know. I'm just, when I read it and I saw the video, definitely Brazilian wood. I mean, come on, guys.
We gotta stop in and pee, and
we're surrounded by wood. This is so
you're
weird.
right.
I want to touch. I'll touch on the Ipe. The Ipe has been around a long time. It's a high end decking. So I mean, they make it sound like it's mahogany, which it kind of is, but
it's more expensive than mahogany. I googled
it. It's expensive wood, but it's not like gold. It is beautiful, but for a rest area, it's complete overkill.
I mean, are people going to walk into the rest area and be like, "Wow, this wood, the quality"?
Taj Mahal of
crappers.
Generally,
why are we not using real wood, like from the area?
Well, it's real, but it's not local.
I know, from the area.
Well, it's the Green New Deal.
It's the carbon footprint to bring Ipe from Brazil up here is ridiculous.
I mean, you could go so deep on the wrong things done here. It's incredible.
Yes.
These are the people that this Green New Deal and the carbon footprint, like you say, Craig. I mean, that is insane that they spent that kind of money.
And where that money could have been used.
Brazilian, exactly. We talk about $86 million for the hotels for putting these kids in down on the border. I mean, come on. This isn't. Let's go. You know how many wells that you could dig in some of these areas that don't have clean water for $7.2 million? Sign me freaking up.
Right.
How many impoverished areas in Minnesota could use that money?
Exactly.
And I was, of course, I'm like, how many mouths you could feed? That was what I thought. I'm like, that is a lot of food.
But here's the thing. The four of you did, maybe Martha May. We'll exclude you.
Uh-oh.
Would you have ever noticed this kind of stuff before we brought the show up?
I didn't even know this.
I've noticed this before. But
sure. Well,
because we go by it.
Well, what I mean is this kind of spending and this kind of ridiculous spending.
Absolutely.
Did you really pay attention?
Yes, I did.
Thank you, Matt.
Yes.
But
the point is that most people, 99.9% of the people wouldn't even realize what was happening.
It's not a bleep on the radar.
So going back to the Turkey Award, the Golden Turkey Award, the first Turkey Award was last year, and did you read what got that first place award?
The morgue.
Yeah.
The $6.9 million morgue.
That leaks the roof and got all the PPE gear wet and everything like that. And the funny part is when they did the video for touring the place, it like the beauty of going around the Brazilian wood and the rounded glass and little patio, it's closed off. Like, it's in the middle of the winter and it's closed off. They said, actually, when I looked into it, because there's too much moisture on the decking, people can't even go and enjoy the whole rest stop. Like, you can't even enjoy the whole view of the rest stop into the woods and everything like that. So, it's just crazy.
It is a beautiful area.
Well,
I mean, if you're going to stop and you're going to stretch your legs for a little bit, I mean, it's nice. But you can enjoy the area. It doesn't have to be the building.
At what cost, right?
Yeah.
Right, and why not use locally sourced materials and support local lumbermen and local yards that...
They supported Brazil.
Well, they supported the importers. That's what's frustrating is, we try to buy local and all that, and then you have this as an example of the complete opposite of that. So, and this, like I said, this started years ago. This has been a fiasco for 4, 5, 6 years. So.
Well, we're talking about it, so it sounds like maybe let's go another year with it.
Absolutely.
Because I think we're all a little disappointed.
Yeah. Well, what it reminds me of, and this came out last year, talking to a friend that works for a federal agency. Sorry, a government agency. It's not federal. And he talked and this was when I was going through that campaign stuff, and he said, and this ties into how goofy our government is, and they had to bring in materials for a yearly project, and they used preferential treatment for minority-owned suppliers. While using their algorithms, instead of using a supplier that had access to the river, they had to use a supplier that had to truck from 3 states away. The cost of that, using that preferential ownership business owner, cost the state $300,000, and the contractor that was the supplier couldn't meet the goals, couldn't meet the delivery needs, because they were trucking individual truckloads instead of by the barge. And it's like $300,000 on $700,000 or $800,000 in materials because it was a minority-owned business. Like, that just government waste. I understand the intention of things like that to help, minority-owned or women-owned businesses. I get that, but at what point do we say, okay, that's not beneficial, it's not worth additional money? I mean, that's another $300,000 that was wasted that could have fixed some roads or put in some wells or
that's what they're
or
talking
help
about
some
at the beginning
kids.
of the article, like how much of that money could have been. It was taken out of. Wasn't the money taken out of the?
any of
road
that,
and,
it should be taken out of the.
highway use.
From road and bridge.
Yeah, it would have been MnDOT
Yeah,
stuff.
road and bridge funding. So, we complained about Highway 14 over here that took so long to get fixed or is still not getting fixed or whatever. That goes all the way to the western side of the state. I mean, then meanwhile we have a rest stop.
I think we know where we're doing our next podcast.
At a really fancy outhouse.
On the crapper,
Closed. Yeah, the railing and the patio is closed.
on the
most critical
crapper
part.
in
Yeah.
Goose Creek.
I mean, that's a lot of porta potties for a long time.
But fourth place, Spirit Mountain, Ski Hill. Why is government, like tax dollars, going into Spirit Mountain?
And to bail them out because everything got closed with COVID.
Yeah.
But that's been long before COVID.
Long before COVID. 2013, it talks about when they got bailed out and the new chalet or whatever. It says here, if we build it, they will come.
This ain't no Field of Dreams.
It's not. I know.
And I can understand the economic impact for Duluth, which is a huge summer town, and you have all those empty hotels in the winter, but it's a ski resort, and there's a lot of ski resorts in that area. So I understand their intention of trying to get people up to Duluth, but at what cost to the city?
Yeah, so runner-up...
That's close to home.
Is Chatfield, the Chatfield Center for the Arts, after a very public veto. Now let me read that again. After a very public veto of funding for the Chatfield Brass Band Music Library in 2008, this small town south of Rochester did get the last laugh from the 2020 legislature. The Chatfield Center for the Arts received $8.7 million to improve their facility. A huge amount of money for a town with fewer than 3,000 residents.
I bet those residents would rather have had that money spent on their school than an art center.
For sure.
Because the
Yeah.
$1.9 billion borrowing bill, over 161 million in the bill went for port projects like skating rinks, community centers, theaters, museums, zoos, and even a salt shed.
Yep.
And some of that stuff I can understand. They improve communities as a whole.
We just had a comment
but-
while we're on this. We just had a comment that the rest area has a skateboard park.
Okay.
Is that, I don't know.
Because that's what people want to do in between.
between the cities and Duluth. Yeah.
Well, because in the article they did, in the video, they said it was a play area.
In the
That
video?
was-
Okay.
that was a
Yeah, I
close-up.
didn't watch
But-
the video.
But it was in snow, remember? It was in snow.
Sure,
and that's
sure,
why they could
sure.
go to the patio, was because there was water.
So that
leaking
makes
on
up
the
for
roof
this.
Right. The 1,000 people a day that stop there, or the 100,000 people in Rochester where they haven't touched their skate park in years. Where kids can walk to it. And here you can't access that unless you're on the interstate.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Quit bitching and run for office.
Right?
Well,
Governor 2022.
All right.
It told me that.
Okay, all the way. Oh yeah.
Good.
Are you going to talk today at all, Lisa? How you feeling at your birthday party last night?
Good. I keep going back to the movie Dave. I see all these millions of dollars they're just throwing away, and it's just crazy.
Speaking of throwing away.
Let's talk about some cookies.
Hey, a lot of people have asked how they can support the work we're doing here at Matt Logan Speaks. Well, you see this hammer that I got in my hand? It's pretty big. All you have to do is hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bell so that when we have new content up, you're the first to know about it. We really appreciate the comments, shares, likes, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us, because the algorithms on all these fancy computers, that's what they need. We appreciate it.